On this glorious Easter day, brothers and sisters, let us relish the victory of the risen Lord and His manifestations to His friends that will surely console us. The Apostle Paul definitively tells us, if Christ has not been raised, your faith is in vain. You are still in your sins. Thanks to God who raised Jesus from the dead, our faith and salvation are assured. The resurrection of Jesus, dear friends, is the foundation of our Christian faith. It is the confirmation of His divinity and the fulfillment of the Scriptures. The Catechism teaches that the resurrection is the second aspect of the Paschal mystery. After Jesus liberated us from sin through His passion and death on the cross, in and by His resurrection, He opens for us the way to new life. Let us then take a look at the encounters with the risen Lord with the disciples and find consolation. Perhaps one of the most moving encounters with the risen Lord is that of Mary Magdalene together with the other women disciples. St. Mark wrote that Jesus appeared first to Mary Magdalene, and St. John narrated it. In our sorrow, the risen Lord comes to us as though telling us, "Do not be afraid, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine." And we can also see that in entrusting this important task to His women disciples, He reaffirmed, as it were, His oneness with those in the margins. As we know, women at that time were regarded as inferior to men. But here is another important aspect of that encounter. The risen Lord said, "Go, tell my brothers," implying that there is filial adoption brought about by His resurrection. We are sons and daughters of God in Jesus Christ, our brother. We enjoy a real share in His life as the Son, and so we can truly say with Him, "Abba, Father." The Catechism then teaches us that next to the women disciples, the risen Lord appeared to Peter and then to the 11. What does this say to us? Friends, it underlines the responsibility of Peter as the leader of the disciples. He is the rock on whose faith the Lord built His church. We remember how the Lord prayed for him. Thanks to his witnessing, the first community of believers was able to joyfully say, "The Lord has truly been raised and has appeared to Simon." Because the Lord also appeared to the 11 apostles gathered together, they are the foundation stones of the church. Now, there is the famous resurrection encounter on the road to Emmaus. Perhaps we can all relate to this story. While going through rough times, we tend to forget all that He taught us. But here is the good news. The Lord never tires of opening our hearts to His Word. In our weakness, He comes to us, reminding us of His love. Friends, do we remember Him and His graciousness at Mass, at the breaking of the bread? Do we even strive to meet Him at Mass on our low days? I hope so. Because at every Eucharist, He teaches and strengthens us, enabling us to say, like the disciples, Were not our hearts burning within us while He spoke to us on the way and opened the Scriptures to us? Now we recall the horror of the crucifixion. I can only imagine the solitude Jesus must have felt when His disciples fled for their lives, leaving Him alone. But what is so striking is that after this dark moment, He visited His friends at the cenacle and offered them the gift of peace. He did this not just once. He even returned to strengthen the faith of Thomas, who at first doubted the mystery unfolding before them. It is also good to recall the message of the women disciples, the message that they must bear to the other disciples, that Jesus would meet them in Galilee. And He surely did. Just when they were on the verge of returning to their old life as fishermen in Galilee, the risen Lord reminded them that they were called to be fishers of human beings. He showed them mercy. They could start all over again. Friends, let us go back to our Galilee. There, let us meet the risen Lord. Lastly, we have this beautiful image of the Great Commission, where the risen Lord sends His disciples to go and proclaim the gospel to all the nations. He sent His disciples, as He sends us, to labor with Him in evangelization. Are we doing so in our homes, workplaces, and schools? There you go, dear friends. I hope you find consolation from these stories surely filled with love. Have you experienced the risen Lord in your life? Go then and tell your brothers and sisters about it.